Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to talk about the geniuses online. It's 9:52 a.m. It is the 28th of December, 2024. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope your festive time, no matter your race, religion, belief, you went to a cheap Chinese restaurant or celebrated with families and friends. You don't need to be a Christian to enjoy Christ Mass. Love is the fulfillment of the law. Love is the fulfillment of the law. Could it be any simpler than that? A master does not tell his servant what he is doing. I have told you all things. I'm not your master. I'm your friend. Beautiful. Who could dislike that? Or a few do. But ladies and gentlemen, Lowkey. Do you know who Lowkey is? This is Lowkey. Man, he's a rapper. He's very dapper. Yes, I've had my 1.5 copies. They're in the big mug, and I'm ready to roll. There's a reason I'm happy. I'll tell you another day. So, Lowkey, if you don't know who Lowkey is, he's like a rapper. Maybe he's a nice guy. I don't know, but he can go to hell like the rest of them. I don't know whether he's... I don't look these people up. I couldn't give a crap, but I just often enjoy people sending me stuff. Thank you for all the links, of course. Double Down News, I think he said Whitney Webb on, I think... I'm going to make you think. Are you going to think with me? Tell me you're going to think with me. Are you going to think with me? People who sent me this said, well, look, Brendan, isn't this good? Isn't this good? You really, I don't want to insult you, but I'm going to insult you. Can you not tell the difference? Have you not worked out the limited hangout yet? Have you worked out the limited hangout yet? Now imagine this guy's got 500,000 views, got a very big channel. He'll no doubt have all his cliche leftist, socialist friends all doing drugs and partying and raising their fist to spicy pumpkin lattes with their Gavira poster on the wall. I said I wasn't going to swear. I will. I'm going to stop eventually. Just a bit more baseball bat therapy. I'll be right. So these are the people I can't stand. I prefer to hang out with a bunch of Zionists, Charlie Kirk people than these people. I just cannot stand these leftist morons. They are the biggest, and they've never helped me. They've never done a damn thing for me, ever. All right? Ever. If you want controlled opposition, there is no more controlled opposition than, excuse me? I'm sorry? What was that? It started to record. See, I'm recording the screen with the screen recorder. It's not supposed to start recording, but it decided to start recording. That's very interesting, Samsung. Is this a new feature? Can you just make it so the camera doesn't turn off? Anyway, these are the people I can't stand. I can't stand them. Here's why. We're going to listen to just a little bit of Lowkey. Lowkey, the rapper. Man, he's a man of integrity. He's making good money off the blood of the Palestinians, telling he cares. We care. We are leftists. We care. He has spicy pumpkin lattes for everybody. Now, as you watch this, he's going to tell you something incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, Lowkey, the rapper, is exposing. Can you believe in his conceited, sad, pathetic self? He's going to tell you that Donald Trump is surrounded by Zionists. And he's investigated the funders. And then we'll ask a simple question about what he doesn't say. These are total controlled opposition. And the fact that you actually got excited about this, I'm just sitting there going, have you not learned anything yet? I have failed. The teacher has failed, clearly. Let's go over here. Sam Crack. I just love that guy's channel. He buys all this cheap salvage stuff and then sells the cars. And it's like, well, I should have been doing that when I was 18. But here he is. Here's Lowkey. You ready? Ready?
Donald Trump has assembled the most pro-Israel cabinet in the history of the United States. I've investigated his funders. It's not looking good. Donald Trump will repeat the mantra,
America first, America first, America first.
But when you look down his list of funders, it seems like it might just be Israel first. Donald Trump selected Pete Hegseth as his Secretary of Defense. Pete Hegseth called for Trump to bomb Iranian energy and nuclear facilities.
What better time than now to say, we're starting the clock?
Or you could just, as someone who's been to Iran, you could just stop Germany and Swiss banks from handing them billions and billions in euros. And that big tanker that goes every week down through the Straits of Hormuz and up into through the Suez Canal and then up to Germany every month, which brings in, I think every week, it goes, and it brings in every time 500 million euros, €500 million every time it goes once a week. Maybe you could stop that, assuming you want Iran free, but of course you don't want Iran free. You want them to play boogeyman till you're ready to wind it up. Anyway, we'll see. Again, these are simple things. You could just land there. You know where I know about that tanker? It was in an English language paper in the foreign ministry. And there they are with Angela Merkel and best friends with Germany. See, what you don't know about Iran is their closest ally is Germany. They're like this. That's why they had a German film crew accompany the Ayatollah when he came out of a Paris commune. Simple facts you can Google, but Whitney Webb ain't going to tell you, neither is Lowkey. You know what? I'm not going to show you any more of this. I'll just leave a link below because I get very angry. I actually get really angry when I watch this stuff. The conceited horse, that's why I just prefer Hegseth believes, when he says he wants to kill all the Muslims, he believes it. See, that's the right wing. They're like carnivores. They just can't help but tell you what they are. There is nothing more sleazy scumbaggery than this left. I've hung with the left a lot. Old school leftists, old school, union movement, true believers. Their energy, I'm 54, so they're Gen X types. And there we got the shit for brains. They're just sleazy, conceited, self-absorbed, narcissistic pieces of shit that never gone without in their lives. Never have they gone without. They never had the shit beaten out of them by their parents. They've never feared for their life. They've never gone without. And these are the conceited pieces of shit like this Lowkey. I just can't stand them. I can't. I just can't watch. Like I thought, I can't watch this again. Now, what doesn't he say? See, simple. I'm asking simple. I love asking simple questions. You mean to say you hate Donald Trump, the enemy? Oh, the little brown people. Save the little brown people, United Nations. Ah. Number one, what issue do we push? National security. Could have done that to break off. We did that. So when this is wound up, don't thank Lowkey. He's making good money. Don't worry. He's doing just fine. Him and his friends. They're buying their pot and their LSD and they're partying, having a good time at the orgy, dreaming of, watching The Matrix Reloaded again. And they can't tell you simple things like, if you want to attack Donald Trump and Zionism and Likud, especially, the man they love to hate. I mean, I don't hate him because he's not a right winger. Bibi's just a criminal. He's not. Don't dignify Netanyahu and Likud by calling them a right wing or ultra right wing party. They're not ultra. They are a criminal organization. Nothing more. You don't need to attach a political designation to them. But what good old you can go now. No, we don't want to turn on location tags. What good old Lowkey? We're on photo mode. Let's go to video mode. What good old Lowkey doesn't want to mention. If you wanted to attack Donald Trump, you go after him on drug money laundering, Deutsche Bank dodgy loans, which showed that he was in with Deutsche Bank, which is from Kissinger, which is where all the Russian drug money comes through. You would talk about the Mueller report and the fact that it's the Israel-Russia Mueller report. You would talk about all the Russians that have got into Israel. You would talk about, the visas and the takeover of Israel by Russian GRU and top levels. You would talk about Intel and Microsoft being taken over, but they never talk about it. So you just don't see it. I viscerally respond to the fact that they don't say, you've got nothing, haven't you? Most of you have got nothing. Even if you understand the concepts I'm talking about, it doesn't viscerally affect you. You don't get emotionally affected because people are dying by the thousands. I get viscerally affected because I have friends, if they're not over there, their families are over here, with tales of woe of their dismembered children with their intestines flung across the living room, which really affects me. And I hate these conceited leftists. Give me Pete Hegseth any day. I like his honesty. Even Chabad, I like their honesty. They tell you to your face. These leftist conceited are the most disgusting, vile, conceited pricks that ever walked. I just can't stand them. What do you think Whitney Webb is? Oh, yeah, they can't. Do you not get viscerally affected? Maybe you need your child splattered across your form, not just dead and lifeless, splattered. And then maybe you'll get viscerally affected. His lies, that piece of shit and that Piers Morgan. Oh, what's the Egyptian comedian? He pulled the piss out of Piers Morgan because he knows what Piers Morgan is. I get viscerally affected. Have you seen the dead and dying? Have you ever seen someone screaming for their life? Someone, it's always good when they're screaming on the trauma table. It usually means they're going to live. let alone war, which is 10 times worse. Have you seen someone battered and bruised, families? Have you seen a mother when their child's dead, got reversed over, and the man standing there like this, just in shock, and the wife's on the ground sobbing, moaning? So you haven't seen death. You haven't seen enough of it. Maybe go work in a children's hospital and see the death. And then maybe you'll start to get viscerally fucking affected. I don't even hate Likud as much as I hate these fucking scum leftists that sit there and they're conceited, self-absorbed, narcissistic bullshit like that fucking low. I just hate them. And he won't tell you about Donald Trump and Chabad Lubavitch. He won't say, did you know Jared Kushner, the son-in-law of Donald Trump, lives on 666 Fifth Avenue, New York, and belongs to a racist, lunatic, medieval religious cult who intimidate and kill their own Jewish community members. Oh, I can tell you all about Chabad Lubavitch, and Manny Wax can too. Maybe Manny's brother. Tell you all about Chabad Lubavitch. They are the worst. Don't worry, there's plenty more of them than Siddim. Drug trafficking, drug money laundering, sex trafficking, organ trading, on the record. Lowkey got nothing to say. Imagine, I'm after that horrible right-wing fascist president. But they forget all this stuff, ammunition they can use. Give me the carnivorous right-wing any day. If we're going to talk politics, if we're going to give it a label, give me the carnivorous right wing over these conceited new age millennial motherfuckers. I said I wouldn't swear. I would line them up against a fucking wall and shoot everyone. And I'm not even fucking joking. You think I just metaphorically express my emotions? No, I mean it every single day. I want consequences for lying and lying by omission. I want consequences for being a little YouTube star and giving our nice limited hangouts. I want consequences. None of these people are real. Everyone is a paid fucking actor with a fucking script. None of them. There's not one. You don't understand the control. You got to speak to Bergie off the record. He said, Brendan, there's none. The whole fucking thing's rigged. Nobody gets up ahead. And it's not, do you understand how many unemployed actors there are running around YouTube? Do you understand that even the organic ones are simply, okay, what's the issue that'll get me the most money? And they simply look for an issue. They'll go and they'll do like finance is the biggest advertising one. So if you want to make the most money out of your advertising, because just because you get advertising, it's not all the same. The most money you get paid for adverts is on financial channels. That's why there's so many of them. Most of these people have no fucking qualifications whatsoever, crypto bros and whatever, and they simply Google up a bunch of facts, get ChatGPT to write the damn script, and just repeat it, and watch their views go up. You don't think there's political ones too for the money? Because you still don't grasp how much money Whitney Webb's making or James Corbett, the middle way, alternative media, social media influencers. You still don't get how much money they're making. How about 20 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand, 50 grand, 60,000 a month, including their fucking Bitcoin sent to them by Russian drug dealers? How about that? You don't understand how much money is in this game, do you? You're still dreaming they're on pennies. You still don't, there's a few thousand a month. They're not on a few thousand. They're on 30, 40, 50, 60,000 US dollars a month. You don't get it. Why do you think this C-U-N-T right here, this C-U-N-T is a lying piece of filthy commie garbage? He'll be linked in with God knows what. Use your imagination. How about Church of Satan? How about various Masonic lodges? How about witchcraft? How about witches' covens? Wizards? Does it not intrigue you at all that they can't tell you Likud, Chabad Lubavitch, Putin, Xi, Belt and Road, multipolar world order? No, can't do it. Have you not noticed? Do you seriously think that's real? You seriously think that's real? You seriously, they just missed that information. You said yourself, Brendan, you can miss information. No, it's 2025, ladies and gents. It's 2025. I'm just getting to this point. I don't know whether it's Pluto, Scorpio, or what's going on, but something's triggering my moon conjunct Pluto in the 8th house, sextiling Jupiter and Venus and Neptune in the 10th house of career, all in Scorpio. Something's triggering because I want blood. I want blood to flow. So people go, holy shit, there are consequences. There are horrible things happening. The little brown people in the Middle East are getting their children eviscerated in front of their eyes. They are looking for their body parts. It's not just like the child's dead. I'm dead. No, they're in parts. Their intestines, and the shit in their intestines is spread across you and the wall of your lounge room. And I don't know how to viscerally affect you till you just slam your fist on the table and say, enough. That's the trouble. Blood has to flow. You have no empathy unless you've seen it. You don't have the empathy. It's just a concept. Half of you are just, it's something to whine about. It's a club to join. Because if you really were viscerally affected, you'd be doing a lot more than sharing links. I'm waiting for someone to tell me they've, people say, how are you doing briefing notes? I say, why can't you do briefing notes? Oh, have you done this? Why can't you do that? Is there any particular reason you can't do that? Do you have YouTube? Do you know what you can, I call it YouTube University. I noticed that's actually what it's called. Before I ever heard that term, I called it YouTube University. I can learn anything on you. How to politically lobby. Mate, I have to do more videos. I'm going to do more videos. They say never blame the student, blame the teacher. This wasn't actually meant to go like this, and it's not an act. Alex Jones is an act. I mean, his anger and rage is there, but he knows exactly what he's doing. Like, I am determined to stop swearing. Number one, it'll get me a bigger audience. A few people have said, particularly Muslims and Catholics, some hardcore Catholics come and say, look, Brandon, please. I want to watch with my family. I want my kids to watch. I can't do it. And I don't necessarily get angry. I say, look, too bad. I mean, Christ called them children of hell, sons of their father, the devil. They complained about that too. But I do want to get a bit calmer. I know for some of you it's entertainment. I get it. I mean, why do they watch Alex Jones? Because I thought it was hilarious. We get animated by people's emotions. But I don't plan on this. Like, it's like my face, my whole head will start to itch. Just because I'm just, And, I'm calm, and it's a nice day, and my solar panels are working, and I'm trying to get a solar panel rig bolted into the ground so no one can steal the solar panels. And, I've got to put them up on a big angle, and I'm very pleased with my solar panels, and I'll make a video of it. And, I was having a good day. And poor me, first world problems, it's, we're 20 minutes in, and, I just, I looked at him here. He's on my big screen here. Lowkey exposes with all caps Donald Trump. How is he exposing Donald Trump? How does he expose Donald Trump? But he's done it, and he's got nearly 600,000 views. He's probably made, I'd say $2,000 to $3,000 out of that one video. Because the demographics too of who's watching him. Look at the look on his face. Look at, it's not looking good. I have investigated Donald Trump, the most Zionist. I mean, what's the difference between him and Biden? Biden comes out with a book on Talmud. Did you see it? It's just all dog whistles. All dog whistles. Give me the carnivorous right wing any day. I just can't. If you can find me a single one of these, like James Corbett. James Corbett would come and say, maybe you should enter local politics. I said, James Corbett, like, don't get near the military-industrial complex, the FBI, they are the enemy. I mean, you can't see through these people. James Corbett's been playing the king. Man, he makes Whitney Webb look like a rank amateur in the limited hangout. I mean, you try to say to people, I said, do you think, when was Christopher Bolin the number one expose on 9/11? Where was Christopher Bolin in 2007? He was at the top of his game in 2007. He was the most well-known then. He would still get 50 people at a meeting. He was still struggling. He'd had to run out of the United States, out of Chicago, no surprise. Don't get me wrong, there's some interesting things about Chris Boleyn, but let's just keep it simple. I'm more than pleased with his work. His work is defining, incredible work. I think he had a lot of help from German intelligence and others, and we may consider his intent was to break off the US like a Whitney Webb, but in a different format, because he was so pro-Putin. Now, notice at least he shut up. You notice Chris Boleyn has disappeared. He shut up. And I get it. He's burnt out, and I know for a fact he fears his safety and that of his family. And I get it. I do get it. He's burnt out too. I really have. I sympathise. I understand. I will love his work forever. He's defining, and history will be kind to Chris Boleyn. It's not going to be kind to James Corbett. But in 2007, James Corbett is in Malaysia with Dr. Mahathir Mohamad Tun, the arch enemy of those evil Jews. They have big noses, he says. All right. And they have a convention on indicting who was responsible for 9/11. So it wasn't Muslims, they said. And who did they indict? Was it Ariel Sharon? Was it Benjamin Netanyahu? Likud? Was it Avi Yemeni? Was it Amit Yaron? Did they go into Unity 200 Telpio program? Nope. They indicted George W. Bush and said, there we go. And there's Chris Boleyn in 2007. There's James Corbett running around to every conference and with a free feed he can get on. And lo and behold, the word Christopher Boleyn doesn't come up and Chris Boleyn is not. And then Mahathir Mohamad admits all those years later in 2022, 2021, 2020 on Turkish television, we have to be careful. They might destroy our economy. Well, you've done very well for yourself, Tun, haven't you? What about the rest of us? And that's James Corbett. That's all you need to know about James Corbett. The CIA did it. So these are the simple questions I ask you to think and to stop accepting the limited hangout. Stop accepting it. At least 50% of you say, yeah, but Brandon, not everyone's a genius like you, and blah, 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 blah. You need to get viscerally upset. You need to get viscerally upset. Your future is in the hands, because I ain't seeing nothing backing off everywhere I go. Autonomous AI, autonomous killing machines. They're going to fire them in artillery shells or other delivery systems into a grid, and everything in that grid dies. Every living thing dies. And they'll just, oh, this is wonderful. It'll solve our manpower, our person power problems, because we told everyone to be gay and transgender and wear high heels or you can't get in the military. Why won't anyone join the military? We're confused. And I don't see anything backing off at the moment. That's just my biggest concern, biggest worry. I'd like to see some rhetoric from Trump's big fat mouth about semi-autonomous kill vehicles moving into fully autonomous and fully autonomous surveillance technology, because they don't need it. They don't need it. The US is already super powerful. The US is all powerful once they get rid of the critical infrastructure problem and Likud, which they're doing right now, without question. But I don't know what's going to emerge from this. I'm a little concerned, and you should be too. And you need to stop this bullshit limited hangout and accepting it. And if you want to do something simple, then go and put, I can't put comments. My comments don't show up. Go to a camera place and do a camera thing, my comments show up. Go to anything, type in Kissinger, it just doesn't come up. You're not going to see it. It never shows. So there's no point. But maybe you can do that. Maybe you can go onto these places. You don't have to use my name. Just put in the keywords, Unity 200, Telpio program, other stuff like that. And just ask them, why is it you can't expose that Microsoft is core-coded in Israel and Intel Research and Design, its most advanced facility, not anymore. They've moved it to Phoenix, Arizona. But do any of you have anything to say? Remember, I haven't been around for 5 minutes. I've been around for 15 years on this particular issue. Since 2008. Do you know how many pro-Palestinian groups I used to know? Do you know how well known I am in a lot of the pro-Palestinian stuff? They will not mention my name publicly. It's like, whoosh. You've seen me attending these events and rallies. You've seen me, I've forgotten his name, the chief international correspondent for Iran Press TV, Hamid Fadaroli. And he's a good guy. He's a really good guy. I love Hamid. It's a shame things didn't work out. But he was frustrated with Iran. He said, God, they're just so corrupt and they embezzle all the money. The right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing. It's infuriating trying to work with them. you know, he was in Berlin and stuff, and he flew into Iran and helped me Tehran, and, you know, with a friend, and they got me a SIM. He didn't fly down, sorry. His friend came down and got me a SIM card and stuff. And he just said, look, Brown's really corrupt and it's hopeless. You know, they promised me a whole expose on this issue, which was what? Israel, high technology, cyber technology juggernaut. Cyber is the rule and the main of power. They were going to do a documentary. You know what Hamid Farah said to me? Forget Julian Assange. You're the real whistleblower. That's what he said to me. That's a chief international correspondent for Iran Press TV. And they just wouldn't do it. They wanted me to do a travel show. That's gold information. I was there. They were giving me a travel show. Go skiing. You can have a beautiful wife. They kept going on about converting to Islam. It was really beginning to piss me off. You know, it's an insult to Islam. You don't just say, just convert. You don't just convert to a religion. That's a very, very, very deep thing to consider and do. But I'm just never cease to amaze. Just, you know, convert. You'll have a beautiful wife, Brendan. You have a great life here, blah, 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 blah. Thank God I left. Thank God now. I was actually, you know, I was thinking, oh, it would have been great. No, I wouldn't. I would have been really sick from lack of vitamin D and lack of sunlight. That's what really collapsed my immune system. But anyway, this went much longer than it was meant to go. It's 26 minutes. I've got another video I want to do, and I'm starting to feel a little bit enthusiastic about my computer now and getting on and being creative. As you see, the last video, I added a few bits in from the past and did a few little other bits. Get a little bit more creative, and I just accept now I have to just reinstall constantly on this laptop. And now that I've accepted that it's part of my routine, it runs fairly well. There's still clearly problems, but reinstall and we're back in business. There's problems, but I've just accepted them now. And again, get in that routine of work. There's a few other things. I went to downloaded some dodgy PDFs too, possibly. We'll see. Whatever. All right, well, that's it. Again, the date is, it's 10:19 a.m. now. It's the 28th of December 2024. Man, time's traveling fast. Really fast. I may quickly whip up a video on my little solar setup and give you a few links. Again, you just YouTube University. You'll learn heaps of stuff. There's forums, solar forums you can go to, and they love to help. They love to give you advice. My one piece of advice though is go big. Don't go small. Don't try to be budget. Just get a big solar charge controller that you can expand on, and then you just add your batteries and your solar as you go along. And so you can just buy the bare minimum, or with one solar panel, one 12-volt battery, you can get it for like $175 US in the United States. Just 5 years ago, they were $900 US per battery. And they're so good. The lithium iron phosphate batteries now are just amazing. They're all made in the same damn factory in China. It's the battery management system that is the dodgy bit, but even the cheap ones are pretty good. But then you got to put your fuses in and so on and so forth. But I urge you to get a bit of, there was for the first time a blackout a few days ago, and the whole town was gone. Whole town, street lights, not a single light on except my lights, my Christmas lights. Should have put the drone up and taken a video, but never thought. I was too busy dancing at last. But yeah, they have actually been blackouts. I just don't notice them anymore, because I also, the main router, which isn't in my house, I put it on an uninterruptible power supply, which with a little router lasts, a day. So I don't even notice the downtime now. But you really need your solar. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, there's Lowkey. There's the usual suspects, spicy pumpkin latte suspects. I just can't bear them. I just start to viscerally affect me. I'm going to have to do some work on that, write in my little diary all my feelings, because I just want to move past that and get on with the business. But I'm just getting frustrated. Again, if I was in the United States with my US citizenship, I can't just go there as a tourist, and I can't get a tourist visa anyway. You can't get a tourist visa and run around being a political activist. You can't do that. And I'm a person of interest. You do realize I am very well known to the Department of Homeland Security. I mean, really well known. There's a big fucking file. All right, they don't want me dead. They just prefer I follow their little line, which is these things are handled quietly, and keep it. Just keep it at Russia. Keep it at just keep talking about it. I can talk about Israel all day. I can talk about Russia all day. I can talk about the Mueller report. But they clearly don't want me going too hard on Trump, and I believe Trump is well and truly under control. I believe the whole thing is well and truly under control. I believe we're seeing a lot of these big faces they're being kept there because they want to run that system now, and you're seeing a large degree of cooperation now to make America the most powerful country and value system in this planet. The question is, what will the value system be? Will it just be pure power, freedom? Well, that will be up to Americans. Don't blame Donald Trump. It's you. You don't want to be politically active. A lot of you said you're scared, and I'm not quite sure what you're scared of. Mary's sitting up there, not so much as a cracked windscreen, but apparently you're very scared. I'm sorry? You're exposing a national security issue. The national security is blessed Israel, of whom you are a Zionist. You are a hardcore Zionist. Your knees are sore from praying for Israel all day. Has been penetrated by evil Russian commies. Putin and the GRU, SVR, and so on and so forth. There's your line. What could possibly go wrong? I'm sorry, I don't buy this bullshit that you're worried or afraid. It's garbage. Total garbage. People, what, Lee? Lee must, well, if Mary's not being attacked, she must be a CIA asset. Lee's not being attacked, he must work for the Illuminati or something. You just don't get it, do you? You live in a fantasy world. Too many of you live in a fantasy world. Hollywood horseshit. You really do. The winds have changed. May I suggest you put your sails up and you start getting more active. You already know what to do. You just find an event where Trump-tards are gathered, and I should stop calling them Trump-tards because they're pretty switched on these days, where Trumpies are gathered, and you need to start educating them on this specific issue. Trust me, they know about it. Oh, they want to groom Mary Silver. They're not saying, I'm not telling you that doing this or saying, I know exactly what they're up to. They would say, we're not ready for you yet, Mary, but we like you. We'll groom you for the future. That's what, again, it's the controlled release limited hangout. So rest easy, America. You're going to be very rich and I don't know about the rest of the world, but you will be. And so is Mexico and Central and South America. A lot of development coming, about time. And we will see. The big question is you're not collapsing. The US dollar's never collapsing. I just pray that for those of you that have been around a while, what have I said for how many years, this garbage of a US dollar collapse? It's impossible. It just can't happen. But they kept saying it over and over. When do these people suffer some consequence? I don't know, a loss in their channels or a loss in viewership? Again, Bergie said it's all fake, Brandon. They buy all their views. These people, if you haven't noticed, these people have like 1.6 million subscribers and like 20,000 views. How do you have 1.6 million subscribers and 20,000 views? Because they bought the subscribers, they bought their initial views, and now they've just stopped paying. And they've got enough apparently to live. It's all fake. Nobody starts a YouTube channel for money and doesn't pay for subscribers and views. In fact, I'm thinking of doing a show on it, but there's actually quite a few around. And you've already had dozens of high-end, that fly just will not go away. Must be Israeli. High-end places that are exposing all these. That is the most incredible fly ever. It just will not go away. I've just turned off for a little while and tried to kill it. Anyway, you've got large, well-respected channels reporting that 70% of all internet traffic, forget porn now, it's fake. They are bots. And it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, creating fake personalities. It's a huge business, but it's political in nature. It's not just about money. That's incidental. It's political. It's to create an environment and an atmosphere of a certain value system, of a certain narrative, when it doesn't exist. And nothing I will say will ever, because it's a real big thrill to get paid to sit at home in front of a cheap Chinese light and give your opinion. And you're a out-of-work actor, narcissist. I put to you that 90% of the large channels are literally manufactured, corporate-level, failed actors and actresses, at least. And if we were to look at who actually owns those channels in an LLC, I bet you there's like 4 or 5 corporate entities running nearly all of these large channels, nearly all of them. particularly not so much the ones that have been around for 15 years, 10, 15 years, not like the Linus Tech Tip ones. They're definitely an organic start, although he's had that much Masonic Illuminati symbology, it's not funny. So does Marcus Brownlee, so do a bunch of them. But they're the ones that are like particularly since 2014 on, 2015, particularly after 2016. 90%, they're all corporate. They're all Tegna Group and all these alternative channels just down the road from Langley. Again, they can swing narratives. Anyway, that's enough. But yeah, I wish I never watched that video because my blood starts to boil, my teeth start to grate. And you know what's sad is the real changes that are taking place. It's unsung heroes like me, Mary, Lee, Kevin, a whole bunch of people, Adam, who've got out there. Sufyan, Arab Muslims who've been moving quietly, Arab Christians who've been moving quietly. That is what has brought on this change. It has nothing to do with these big names. Nothing. They have done everything they can to subvert this message. It's the new year. There are many worries to be had right now. One of them isn't the economy. If you're in the United States, forget about worrying about the economy. You're going to boom, 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 boom. There'll be a few ups and downs. I definitely think they're going to do rolling blackouts because they want, not because Bibi's attacking. Bibi's going to get it in the neck if he's not careful. But what they want to do is to wake up Americans. And I'm seeing many positive signs amongst the rather depressing signs as well. It's a mixed bag, very demoralizing, of course. But, you know, you can watch YouTube channels now which are dedicated. These are high-end CIA, FBI, counterintelligence who have got not necessarily big channels, but very high-end channels. And they are talking about the history. They're talking about how they operate. They're being very open now, and they're asking for ordinary people to become involved. That is a very good sign. They've realized open source is the way to go, and you must involve your citizenry in issues such as counterintelligence. You've got to involve them. You've got to immunize the system. You've got to have an immune system that'll operate deep in the body politic. So I see many positive signs too, but just some positive, something just like, you just want to scream. Oh, maybe they want it that way too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a pleasant time regardless. Heading into the New Year's, I hope you have a barbecue, few friends, and just put the Christmas lights on and relax, enjoy yourself. Good food, good friends. Talk soon.